Tulsi Gabbard rattled the deep state. And it was only a matter of time before it responded in its typical sleazy and sinister fashion. Now, after exposing Obama-era collusion behind the Russia hoax, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is now being targeted. Not with debate, not with facts, but with the full force of Washington's political machine. Here's what happened. Senator Tom Cotton, chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, is pushing a major overhaul of Gabbard's DNI office. His plan: slash her staff, strip her powers, and block the DNI from conducting independent investigations, the very kind of digging that just exposed years of deep state lies. The proposal will gut the office of the Director of National Intelligence, cutting the staff from around 1,600 down to just 650, a drastic reduction that would leave the DNI blindfolded, silenced, and boxed in. But this isn't about bloat or redundancy. This is open retaliation. Because for the first time in years, someone inside the intelligence community was actually cross-referencing the silos. That's what Tulsi did, and that's what's scaring them. See, the intelligence world is built on silos. One agency doesn't know what the other is doing. It's designed that way, so nobody can connect the dots or expose the entire operation. But Tulsi Gabbard has access. She connected the dots, and then she dropped the receipts. Declassified documents, exposed lies, Obama-era officials colluding together. And what's the response from DC? Shut her down, strip her authority, muzzle the DNI, and hand power back to the CIA. Cotton isn't openly attacking Tulsi because he can't. That would expose the motive. Instead, the changes are being slipped into the Intelligence Authorization Act. Quietly, bureaucratically. That's how DC works. Meanwhile, Congressman Jim Himes, another Russia hoaxer, loyalist, went on to say Tulsi's efforts were putting Obama officials at risk. Sound familiar?
A bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee investigation found that the U.S. intelligence community's assessment of Russian interference in the 2016 election was correct. They deemed it to be so on a bipartisan basis. I'm saying that because today and yesterday, the director of the intelligence community, Tulsi Gabbard, has said that she is referring for prosecution former American officials she accused of treasonous conspiracy, a years-long coup against President Trump, because they assessed Russia had tried to influence the election. This is weeks after the CIA director issued a report critiquing the tradecraft that went into that 2016 assessment. Is there any legal basis for any kind of prosecution here?
None. Absolutely none, Margaret. What you saw from the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was not just a lie, but a very dangerous lie, because when you start throwing around language like sedition and treason, somebody's going to get hurt. Now, you pointed out that the Senate committee, then led by Marco Rubio, a Republican and now Secretary of State, found unanimously that Russia meddled in the election to try to assist Donald Trump. John Durham, special counsel appointed by Donald Trump, investigated this, found that the Senate report was correct. Now, what Tulsi is doing, it's a little sleight of hand, but it's worth focusing on. She is saying that the Intelligence Committee early on said that the Russians could not use cyber tools to mess with the voting infrastructure, the machines that tally our votes. And that was true then, and it is true now. Though the Russians tried to break into a couple of states, election technical infrastructure, they didn't do it. But it is well known and well established that the Russians hacked into the DNC and undertook any number of other influence operations, including buying reams of Facebook ads to discredit Hillary Clinton. That is not in contention, right? And what is horrifying about this whole lie out of Gabbard is, number one, it puts people at risk. And right now, the mouth breathers on MAGA online are just going out of their minds based on a lie. And number two, the intelligence community is full of very, very good people who do their jobs every single day. And now they're watching their leader do something that each and every one of them knows is dishonest. And it is a really, really bad thing for the safety and security of the American people when that dynamic is out there.
That Senate report is online. The findings are there. But I understand your distinction there, and it's an important one in influence versus physical hacking.
By the way, Margaret, if I may, you asked about the referral. Here's the test. This is Epstein all over again. Criminal referrals. We're going to prosecute Barack Obama. You know, treasonous and seditious. Here's the thing, and I hope that 4, 5, 6 weeks from now, don't take it from this Democrat. 4, 5, 6 weeks from now, let's see if this administration, Tulsi Gabbard accusing a former president of treason, let's see if they bring charges. They won't. They won't, because there's not a judge in the land, not a single judge, who will treat this with anything other than laughter that will be heard from the Atlantic to the Pacific in this country. So the test of this is 4, 5, 6 weeks from now, is the DOJ bringing charges? And the answer to that is no. And now we're going to be an Epstein world where, like, wait a minute, treasonous conspiracy by a former president. Why isn't the Department of Justice bringing charges? And the answer to that question is that it is a lie.
It's the same tired excuse. Accountability is dangerous, transparency risky, and the only safe thing is the same corrupt officials behind the scenes running the show. But let's be clear, they're not worried about national security. They're worried about job security. They're worried Tulsi Gabbard is over the target. The deep state doesn't go after you unless you're doing something that matters. And right now, they're working overtime to stop her from doing it again.